Hi everyone, today we're going to be playing some City Skylines 2. I loved the first City Skylines game. It was so fun. There was a lot of creative aspects to it. The mods were amazing. I haven't played too much of this game though. City Skylines 2, when it was released, didn't really get the best reputation. Kind of had a messy launch. And I think that was almost 2 years ago at this point, so I would love to get started with it. I have made a couple, like a town or two, just to kind of familiarize myself with the game. There are a few changes from the first City Skylines game, but for the most part, it plays very similar to the original first one. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with selecting a map. As you can see, we have quite a couple options, about 12 different maps to choose from. Now, me personally, I'm more of an island type of guy, but you know, this game is a little bit different in terms of the first one, so I also wouldn't mind a little bit of a bigger landmass just to start off with. So I think we're gonna probably pick either Sunshine Peninsula, or we're gonna go with the Great Highlands. Let's see here. Buildable areas. Let's go with the Sunshine Peninsula. That looks like the better option for us. So, I'm not too worried about the city name for right now. We're just going to give it a couple clicks. And Lemon Cove, that's what we're gonna stick with. I actually like that. That sounds pretty appealing to me. So let's get started with Lemon Cove. Now, again, I appreciate you watching and taking time out of your day to be with me as we start our journey on Lemon Cove. I hope that you stick around and see this city blossom into something beautiful and something unique. So with that, let's get started. As you can see, we have just a few roads to work with here, nothing crazy, but we're going to go ahead and add on to Highland Street here. We're going to go ahead and add just a 2-lane road, and we're going to go ahead and create what I refer to as the battery. Now, if you're familiar with Conflict Nerd, he is a YouTuber that has been playing City Skylines and other games like that for a long time, and he is actually the inspiration behind the battery, as we call it. It's a simple outline for your city to get it started. Essentially what you do is you build here 2 blocks, and you basically separate out your industrial area from your commercial and residential. The reason being is because your industrial area is going to generate a lot of traffic. That traffic is going to be consistent of a lot of trucks. And with that being said, we don't want our trucks being mixed in with our residential area. That is not good for the residents' sleep, and it is also just very bad for traffic. So to prevent that, we are going to separate out these areas. So here we go. We are going to go ahead and create just 2, if you will, kind of boxes. And we're going to add, and I should actually go ahead and pause the game. That would help us out just a little bit. But we're going to add residential, followed by commercial. And I actually believe we'll probably want just a little bit more residential than that. So let's go ahead and create another box. Now, I promise this city is not going to be a grid-like city. Those can get very boring very quickly, and I don't want you to be watching a boring city. However, this is going to be the most efficient start to get us started and get some cash flow, so that way we can decide what kind of city we want and exactly what it's going to look like. But in the meantime, we are going to go ahead and add some power, some water, and just some basic utilities, so that way we can get our city started. Now, we have 2 options here. We can go with a small coal power plant, or we can go with a wind turbine. The difference being is that the wind turbine is cheaper, but it generates less electricity. The small coal power plant is going to be the more efficient option. However, it costs more to upkeep. So those are two things that we have to keep in mind. And with City Skylines 2, we have noticed with the 2 towns I have created prior to this video that it seems that it is a lot easier to get into debt quickly. So to avoid that, we are going to stick on the cheaper side for now. With that being said, we are going to add ourselves a wind turbine, maybe 2, just to get us started. And we're going to connect those with these power lines if we can get the nodules to work. It's very finicky sometimes, the system. But here we go. We are going to add that. And we should have power connected for our residential, commercial, and our industrial. We're going to go ahead and move on to water now. Water is, of course, very essential. It is the liquid of life, they say. We are going to add, for the time being, a water pumping station, as it is the most efficient option in terms of cost for us currently. So we're going to add that. And we're going to go ahead and add that right over here towards the edge of the river. We're going to bring our water line straight down and connect it to our street. From there, we also need to worry about a sewage outlet. So we're going to add that at the opposite end of the river. That way we have no cross-contamination with our water. The last thing we want is the sewage to be absorbed into the water inlet, thus causing our residents to be sick. That is not something that we want. Now, of course, my sewage line isn't going to be beautiful, but we're going to try to keep it as uniform as possible. So we're going to keep it very close to the water line, bring it straight down and connect it to the road as well. From there, we have all our basic utilities essentially ready to go. So we are going to click play and see our town slowly blossom into its first stages of life. And as you can see, we already have most, if not all, the plots being bought up and being ready to be constructed on. With that, we are going to increase the time so that way it builds faster for your convenience and mine. While we're waiting for these buildings to go ahead and pop up, it looks like our commercial demand and our residential demand are still not quite met. So we're going to add an additional block here, right here in the middle. And then from there, we're going to extend our residential area. And we're going to bring it like so. And that's going to give us a big residential area to work with. So we're going to go ahead and add residential there, commercial here. And it also looks like we might need to build up a little bit more industrial. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Let's create a 4-way intersection. And let's drag it out, about 100, well, we'll do 96 yards, that's fine. And we'll bring it up, we'll create another box. And that'll give us just a little bit more industrial plots to work with for the time being. Now, we will of course want to add another way to get across from each area, as this intersection will become very traffic heavy very quickly if we do not intervene. So let's go ahead, let's grab a 4-lane road and extend just a little bit further to right about here. Let's grab our 2-lane road. And let's go ahead and bring it here. We're gonna create essentially another intersection, but we want it to be as far away as possible from this intersection. We don't want cars to be stopping and going consistently. We want them to have a smooth flow coming into the city, and of course being able to go around if they need to. Now eventually, as we extend the city this way, this intersection will be utilized a lot as well. We will eventually want to consider adding a different 4-lane, going horizontal, so that way we can have both small roads and large roads to handle the traffic flow as we extend our city. So it looks like we still have residential demand. That's not surprising, as we need more residents to grow our city. So let's go ahead and add yet another block to this neighborhood. Oh, it looks like we just hit Tiny Village. With that, we get a reward of $25,000. We get a developmental point, and we get some expansion permits. This is great. So with the developmental point, we're going to be able to unlock certain key aspects for our city, such as road improvements, things like fire department improvements, just overall improvements and things that we need for the city to function. And then with the developmental plots, those are going to be tiles that we can purchase to extend the land we have to work with. Now, we're not going to worry about that right this second, as you can see, we still have plenty of land to work with. And of course, me being me, I forgot to give power to not only our sewage outlet, but our water intake outlet, or inlet, I should say. So let's go ahead and do that. And actually, let's just create a small road. Let's do a gravel road. And I want this city to be somewhat realistic, so and we'll do some curves here. We'll have some fun. Let's have some fun. So we're gonna curve around. We're gonna bring this dirt road. Now, eventually, I would imagine this dirt road will convert to asphalt as we expand the city, but for now, we will just keep that as a dirt road, and that will allow power and water to also travel through the gravel road. How that happens, I'm not quite sure, but it does. It just works, as Todd Howard would say. So it looks like we have a lack of labor. So the company cannot find enough employees, which means, again, we need to increase our residential areas. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's add some medium density row housing. That is going to immediately be all grabbed up. Wow, fantastic. But at the same time, it looks like it's not quite enough. Let's add just a small let's switch this back to straight. Let's add just another small block for low density housing. And we'll see if our demand goes down, and it does. Great. Now, we will want to keep an eye on our power availability, as again, we only have 2 wind turbines powering this city. We don't want to grow too fast and outgrow our power source. If that does happen, of course, we can add another one. But we want to watch our costs as well. It looks like we are $24,000 in the red, which means we need to increase our taxes. So let's do that real quick. Let's go to 12%, and we're going to do that across the board. That way everyone is getting taxed the same, and that puts us at a healthy $22,000. Oh, $36,000 in the green, which is great. We want profit for our city. Now it looks like our monthly balance still is not quite green though. It looks like we are about $5,000 short. And it looks like it actually is catching up. So let's give it some time and let's see. Oh, it looks like it doesn't know what it's doing. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's go to our services. And we're gonna cut down just a little bit on our water budget. And same thing with the service fee. This is actually, we're gonna keep this and we're gonna go ahead and increase it to about 108%. With our roads, we're gonna cut down the budget to a healthy 90%. And that now brings us in the green at $11,000 profit, which is great. We need that to grow our city. It looks like we did outgrow our power source though, so let's go ahead and add a wind turbine real quick. Let's add one more. And we'll see if that will be sufficient to keep our city alive. Let's just do this. Now it does not look like we quite have enough power here. We have the choice of getting yet another wind turbine, or we can get rid of them and just go straight for the coal power plant. By the time we add a third wind turbine, unfortunately, it'll be the same cost. So let's go ahead and just do that instead. Here I was trying to save the environment. However, that just is not going to be the case. With the coal power plant, we are going to need to add a transformer station. The reason being is because the small coal power plant generates, let's see here, it is high voltage currents, and we need to transfer them to the transformer station, which then converts it to low voltage, which allows the households to use it. We can go ahead and also connect this power line to the one that was generated when we first started this map. And that, I believe, will allow us to sell any excess power we have to other cities that exist in the world. We're also going to go ahead and see if we can get rid of these power lines that we built here that we no longer need. And I apologize for it being so dark. I'm not sure if there's like a flashlight option like there was in City Skylines 1, but if there is so, please leave a comment letting me know, and I will gladly turn that on so that way we can see a little bit better. However, with that being said, I also feel like this is a great place for us to stop for the time being. So again, thank you so much for tuning in and watching us build our first couple of blocks and first couple of neighborhoods within Lemon Cove. Again, this is going to be a continuous ongoing series. I plan to upload a video at least once a week. That way we can grow this city together and see what we can add on to it. Of course, if you have any suggestions for the city, please let me know. I'd be glad to incorporate any of your ideas into the videos that are going forward. So with that being said, folks, Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for giving me your time today. And I hope you click like and subscribe on this video. That way you can stay tuned for upcoming videos of Lemon Cove in the future. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.